Alright guys, my name is Kwame Dino, largely currently a Headstarter resident and undergrad at CUNY SPS, and today I'll be walking you through my latest Headstarter project sprint, which is creating an autonomous ML agent. In other words, I'd be automating the work of a data scientist within a matter of seconds. So what's the schedule looking like? Well, we'll just go through the problem briefly. Why is it that I chose to come up with this solution? Go through the approach, the steps that I intend to implement / did implement, and just a demo highlighting some of the things that went well and some of the things that I might consider improving. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is we have an abundance of data and not too many ways to handle it. And what I mean by that is, for example, one day you are on YouTube. You're on YouTube, and we all know how YouTube operates. The moment you go on YouTube, you are likely to see videos that are catered to your preferences, unless you're, a noob and this is your first time on the website, which I highly doubt in this day and age. Nevertheless, there are certain ways in which these algorithms are able to actually predict, some of the things that you're going to do. For example, in the case of YouTube, what video are you going to watch next? Or, if we want to segue into e-commerce, what product will you actually buy next? And tabular data is everywhere, whether it be in finance, healthcare, and marketing. And so building ML pipelines, machine learning pipelines manually can be time consuming, whether it be, pre-processing data that you gather. For example, if some user ended up logging in, watching a certain movie and they have some demographics to them, some features as we like to call it, and you want to predict whether or not they're gonna, a certain group of people are gonna watch a certain movie. All of this is maybe contingent on some features. This is how, generally speaking, with the whole pre-processing method, we're able to successfully generalize, or these models rather, are able to generalize some of the actions that other users may take. And so this whole process, from turning raw data into a deployed model, it actually can be time consuming. But today I intend to automate that process, by saving time, improving reproducibility, and keeping results transparent. So what's the approach? Well, we upload the dataset. We upload our raw material. We clean the data. We fix missing values, encode categories. We train these models. We teach the computer patterns to learn from the data. For example, it's not just befitting to feed, this system a CSV file, and then expect it to know, okay, this is what I should be looking for. And then we're evaluating these models. This is very important because we can train these models and we can be falsely deceived. We could be deceived rather. We could be deceived into thinking that, okay, these models were able to actually track some patterns, which is why we have a train and test split. Nevertheless, we select the best model, depending on what it is that we're looking for. Okay, did X, Y, and Z model perform better for, say, for example, determining yes or no outcomes? And we just deploy the pipeline. So we have a demo briefly, and I'll just show you guys the UI. So this is the UI that I use with the help of Cursor. And here we have it. We have a data overview, we have processing, we have results, and we have a download. So I use a data set that I created from one of my classes in CUNY SPS, I believe 2 semesters ago. And it was pretty simple. The topic I cannot recall, but nevertheless, I do have some errors here. Just to be completely transparent, I used Cursor to build this in terms of all of the, the internal code base. This is still something that can increase my knowledge base upon, such as, for example, some of the code that they use to generate all of this. But generally speaking, I use the likes of Python, numerous frameworks and libraries. And to conclude, this is actually being deployed. This is actually live on Streamlit. Another technology that I didn't know was befitting for deploying web apps as it relates to presenting data. So just to conclude, I have a fake data set. This is where you would typically upload your CSV file. and then go through a process. It tells you the amount of memory usage, and this is contingent on the amount of work that had to be done in regards to pre-processing. So we process the data. As you can see, my data validation passed. However, the pre-processing actually did not work. Once again, these are errors that I actually have to go back into and look into myself. I would hypothetically then see, assuming this was smooth and working, I would then hypothetically see the results. And then finally, when everything is all set and displayed, I'll just download it.